Do you ever wonder why our generation just suffers from so many mental health challenges, anxiety, depression, and like there's just so much going on in that area about those things? And I am not a clinical psychologist, so I don't know what the root cause is for most of these things, and your case might be professional and you need to seek help and etc etc. But I do feel like there is an element that's also missing generally in who we are as people, and just how we live life, you know. There is a trait called gratitude, just having an attitude of gratitude. And this is just the quality of being thankful, just expressing thanks and being able to have an appreciation for things in life in general. And sometimes we're so caught up in the business of things. You're trying to get things together in your life that we just forget to take a moment and reflect on life and be thankful, And today I just thought we should remind ourselves how important it is to be thankful in our life. There is a particular story in the Bible, in the book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 11 to 19, which is a story of the 10 lepers. So it talks about Jesus walking into a certain town where he finds 10 lepers, and these 10 lepers scream out to him for help. And Jesus heads towards them and he gives them an instruction. He says, go show yourself to the priest, because that was the custom of the day. Whenever you had leprosy, you had to go see a priest in order to get examined, and the priest would determine if now you are clean and worthy to get incorporated back into society. So basically Jesus does that. He goes to the lepers and he says, go show yourself to the priest. And they were like, okay, cool, we're going to do that. And as they were walking, as they were on the way, it says as they went, they were cleansed, or they got healed of the leprosy, right? And of course there's excitement, of course they're ecstatic, but of the 10, only one heads back. And it says the one that heads back goes back and he's shouting and screaming, just showing gratitude towards Jesus and saying thank you, and just showing how appreciative he is of this thing that Jesus has done in his life that has just drastically and radically changed his life. And Jesus asks him a question. He says, why aren't you the 10 of you? How come only one has come back to say thank you? And sometimes I compare this to our generation about how we ask so much from God and we ask so much in prayer, and most of the times we get these things that we ask for. We pray for a job, we pray for a marriage, we pray for relationships, for friends, and we pray for scholarships, and we pray for different things. And sometimes when we get those things, we just move on with our life and we find other things to complain about, and we forget to go back to say thank you to the same God that gave us the job that we now have, that gave us the marriage that we now have, that gave us the scholarship that we now have, And it says after he came back and he said thank you, Jesus says, go your way, your faith has made you whole. So it begs the question, at what point was he healed? Was he healed when he was going with his friends and he noticed that the leprosy had, the effect had stopped? Or was it at this point that Jesus said, your faith has made you whole? And a lot of scholars have different opinions about this, and some of their opinion is that as they were walking, the leprosy just kind of stopped, they got healed. But when he came back and expressed thanks, it says he was now made whole. He experienced wholeness or salvation in the Greek, which is just wholeness, which encompasses wellness in your physical being, wellness in your soul, and wellness in your spiritual being. It's just overall wellness. When Jesus said your faith has made you whole, some scholars even believe that leprosy was a flesh-eating disease. So if it had eaten your fingers and your thumbs and different things, that in that moment those parts started to grow back, and this person began to experience wholeness. And how I feel or think that applies in our life is we might be praying and we might have asked God. There's different times when we may have asked God for different things in our life. God may have given you those things, and maybe after that you just moved on with your life and forgot about everything that happened. This is a reminder that it is important to go back and say thank you. It's important to express thanks for those things that you prayed for and were granted, because it's one thing to have a job, but it's another thing to still experience wholeness in that job. And being thankful allows you to experience wholeness in that job, to experience wholeness in that marriage, to experience wholeness in that promotion that God gave you. It's just this added bonus of wholeness in whatever God has already given you. So today, be encouraged to go say thank you. Look for something in your life that you can be grateful for and say thank you for that thing.